Hello, in today's video, I'm going to be taking a quick look at the differences between Galaxy Warriors, Galaxy Fighters, and what is that, a Galaxy Hero. Okay, so let's start with Galaxy Warrior. As you can see, all three of these look really similar. The first thing I always look for is the underpants. You'll notice the sort of large kind of straps, flaps hanging down, and square or rectangular things on the belt. That is the first giveaway. If we compare that to a Galaxy Fighter, you can see that the straps are almost the same, but it's like they're doubled up, so they're thinner. And then the belt has a diamond in the middle and stars and squares on the back. So that would be your first giveaway. Now the Muscle Warrior here, sorry, Galaxy Hero, I get confused myself. He has a very similar to the Galaxy Warrior belt, but you can already see there's a massive difference in quality there. So the next thing, if you're trying to figure out if you're looking at a Galaxy Warrior or a Galaxy Fighter, would be the boots. Now there are variants on Galaxy Warrior boots. With the boots, you either get a flat boot or you get a little V-cut in the boot. All of the Galaxy Fighters have this V-cut with a little V below it. That's the second giveaway. And another really obvious one is this left hand. If you look at a Galaxy Fighter, it is kind of like in a gripping pose, whereas it's open on a Galaxy Warrior. So straight away you can just look at these and see that these are quite different. And there are actual subtle differences in the musculature and all that sort of stuff. So Galaxy Fighters are basically a completely different sculpt. You look at the back, the arms, even the legs. So it's a big difference. These heads are just still very similar, probably ripped off the mold, I would say, but I think this is a later release of a newbie, still a soft head, but quite glossy and slightly different paint from some other variants. So another big difference there. And if we pull up the Galaxy Hero here, you can just see the head is totally different. Still supposed to be a Wolfman. And another thing about these, straight away, you can just spot these. I can spot these a mile away. The big thing would be no waist articulation, no leg articulation, and there's a very grainy, I don't know if I'll pick it up on the camera, but very grainy, cheap feeling plastic. And look at the fingers. The fingers are terrible on these guys. Like, they just look like incomplete. Very, very cheap. And one interesting thing about these is you can actually remove the heads. The heads just pop off. So it's fun. Now the next thing that we'll look at quickly, understand, is armor. So you might see a mix and match of armor. Now this is your classic Galaxy Warrior armor, the sun logo. There are other variants, as in there's only two types of armor for Galaxy Warriors, and this would be the second type, more of a triangular sort of shaped thing. Galaxy Warriors, and then Galaxy Fighters only come with two types of armor, but they don't share armor with the fighters. Sorry, fighters don't share it with the warriors. So this is one of the standard Galaxy Fighter armor. And then the other one would be this one here, which has sort of like an eagle logo on the front and kind of feathery things on the side. So the clasps are the same, but as you can see. So if you've got a mix and match, you're probably somebody's just found armor and put them on. So Galaxy Fighters. Now, what's the, oh, and of course, don't forget this ugly guy here. Now this is, as you can tell, again, kind of like almost like a bootleg really of Galaxy Warriors armor. It's got a few added details. That bit there is actually sunken in, so that is quite different again. And usually you'd struggle to fit this armor onto a Galaxy Warrior. It's a lot smaller. quite rubbery. As you can see, I think this armor here had kind of shrunk over time. So I just made a little extra clasp to hold it together. Right, so here we have another classic example of the three different types. We've got Galaxy Warrior Boltard, Galaxy Fighter Boltard, and Boltard from Galaxy Heroes. So you can already see a massive difference, especially in the Galaxy Heroes Boltard. But again, just even looking at the two, the Fighter and the Warrior, you can tell the underpants are different, quite noticeable, those sort of extra lines in the sculpt. And then, and one thing I didn't actually mention was the braces. They're all the same on Galaxy Fighters. So I'll show you that one quickly. That is what the bracer looks like on a Galaxy Fighter. And there's two variants in Galaxy Warriors. You either get the rings or you get the ones with the little domes. So that's the other wrist bracer for a Galaxy Warrior, the little domes on it, and that's the different type of boot. And there is always usually some kind of mix and match of combinations. There is sort of no exact way they should come. I think in the factory they're pretty loose about how they produce them. Of course, this is a Galaxy whole for a reason. There's just so many different variants, different lines. This here is Weapons Master from Defenders of the Planets, and you can see he has basically the upper body, well, the arms anyway, of a Galaxy Warrior with the bands. The chest is a little bit closer to Master of the Universe, maybe Galaxy Warriors, but the underpants and the legs, they look like straight up ripped off bootleg Master of the Universe. But they do make for some pretty cool figures, and there's only 6 in that line, so with a lot of variants. Now this guy here, this is a Muscle Warrior, so again pretty confusing, very similar. You can just sort of see quite cheaply made, very much looks like a Galaxy Warrior. Like underpants like we talked about, except his belt is smooth. And big thing with these guys, really, that's the most noticeable point of difference, is that there's no articulation in the legs. So you don't have to worry about the legs breaking, but they are stuck in that pose. So you're probably not going to get them on a beast or anything like that. You can tell this is a Magnon knockoff. Very badly painted, very badly made, even like emissions from the sculpt. So that is a Muscle Warrior. Defenders of the Planets. Okay, so there you have it. That's the quick guide to identifying primarily your Galaxy Warriors and your Galaxy Fighters, and then I think it's very obvious when you're dealing with a Galaxy Hero, because these guys are just quite obviously a really badly made, cheap bootleg. You know, that plastic is horrible. I'm not a big fan of these, but interestingly they do come with a lot of very cool and unique head sculpts, so they have that going for them. I won't get into the weapons and things like that in this video, but basically, if you're digging through at a garage sale, flea market, toy fair, what you want to look for, first thing, I just go straight to the pants. You see this kind of pants, probably looking at a Galaxy Warrior. You see this kind of pants, and we're talking about Galaxy Fighter. Because people are going to mix up the weapons, the armor, it's all just going to be throw on whatever you find. But if you're looking at the basic figure, that's what to look for. And of course the other big noticeable one, because these guys look very similar, is just those fixed legs. So fixed legs, twisting waist, you're looking at a Muscle Warrior. Hope that helps people. Any questions, let me know in the comments, and we'll see you on the next one.